With Mahjoob Zweiri, who joins us from Doha. He's a professor of contemporary Middle East politics at Qatar University. Really good to have you back with us, Professor. We know the hostilities between Israel and the Houthis have been escalating, particularly in recent weeks. How close are we to an all-out war between the two sides, do you think?
Well, Oscar, I think the Israelis are surprised of what al-Houthi was doing in the last 448 days. There are two things Israelis were shocked of. Number one, the lack of information about Houthi power and missiles. And number two, they don't have spies on the ground. They don't know where to go, where to hit, and who's to hit, and how much they can be effective. So what they are doing now is hitting everywhere, assuming that this will affect the legitimacy of Houthis and will lead to sort of anger within a society against the Houthis. I'm not sure we are heading towards a serious war for two reasons. Number one, there is a huge distance between Israel and Yemen, and that makes the war difficult. Israel cannot have this war alone. It needs a lot of support from the United States. And the United States, as far as I know, they are not interested to be engaged completely in this conflict. They want to support, they want to provide information, but they don't want to be seen as completely involved. And number two, Israel is not in a position to stretch more. Israel already is stretched on different fronts, and they are not achieving their goals. I mean, even with what happened in Lebanon, even what's happening in Gaza, but they are not achieving their goals. They are not releasing their hostages. They are not able to convince the world that everything is happening in Gaza is acceptable. A lot of critique to them from different countries, and the only thing in hand now is actually Trump. They rely on Trump comes to the White House on 20th of January and assuming that he will solve all their problems. Personally, I don't think so. Trump will be the 911 for the Israeli government now and for Netanyahu. He has different priorities.
And what about the issue of Iran? We heard a correspondent in occupied East Jerusalem saying that various members of Netanyahu's administration are now calling out Iran by name as the hostilities increase between Israel and Yemen. Do you believe that at some point Israel will look to target Iran directly? The Houthis, of course, have been backed by Iran, so has Hezbollah. When will Israel target Tehran, do you think?
You know, since 2009 until 2013, there were 3 plans to hit Iran, and they were all of the preparation done, and last minute they were stopped. And in this period, Netanyahu was the prime minister, and Ehud Barak was the foreign minister of Israel, and they stopped them. The consequence of hitting Iran is huge, because basically they know that Iranian will not keep silent, and they may hit hard, not necessarily Israel, but the interest of the United States. To the Iranians, any kind of attack, they will look at it as something supported by the United States, which means all of the American interests will be threatened immediately. And that is the calculation, it seems to me, Netanyahu is considering, because he knows that if anything happens now, if he hits Iran, Iran will hit back, and Iran now not in a position to keep silent after losing Syria and Lebanon. So they will hit back, and if they will hit the energy resources, where? In the Gulf, which means basically the barrel of the oil will go up, and that will not be the interest of the United States and the European nations. So there is a huge consequence of attacking Iran. However, keep attacking Yemen is less in terms of consequences and ramification.
Okay, Professor Mahjoob Zweiri, we'll have to leave it there, but it's always really good to get your analysis. Thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. Pleasure.